Hello and what's up guys. In this video, something truly worrying is happening again in Kogi State. Over the weekend, suspected bandits stormed a new church in a community and abducted the pastor, his wife and several members. And honestly, Nigerians are tired. These constant attacks keep raising one big question. When will real protection reach ordinary people? Now, on national TV, security expert Professor Celestine Iwendi didn't hold back. He revealed shocking details about how unprepared we are, why technology like drones and AI is still not being used properly, and why local communities must be empowered to defend themselves. He even explained how lack of data, weak intelligence, and poor use of local knowledge are helping these criminals move freely. What he said about drones, dark technology, local commandos, and how Nigeria is fighting a modern war with outdated tools will leave you speechless. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
Over the weekend, suspected bandits invaded the newly established Cherubim and Seraphim Church in Naija, Yagba West local government area of Kogi State, and abducted the pastor, his wife, and other members. This latest attack, amongst others before it, continues to raise questions about what measures are being taken to avoid the constant repetition of such attacks in Nigeria. Joining us on the morning show to discuss rising insecurity in Nigeria and the federal government's method in tackling the issue is Professor Celestine Iwendi, head of the Center of Intelligence of Things, University of Greater Manchester. Good morning, Professor Iwendi, and thank you for joining us again on the morning show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah, the last time you were in our studio here in Lagos. Now, we're doing Zoom. Now, the intelligence of things. So you are in the technology science area. Part of the conversation about tackling insecurity in Nigeria has been, the use of technology. Only the other day, a former president is saying, we're in the age of the use of drones. Why are we not using drones? All this kinetic, non-kinetic, paying ransom to bandits and then using military might. There's a more intelligent way, a more advanced way. So how does the intelligence of things fit into how to tackle the challenge of insecurity in Nigeria, in your view?
Thank you so Yes, thank you so much for that question. Like I said, apparently last time we were here, I think 1st July of 2024. Yes. So it took, and then we said in this meeting that the president should declare a state of emergency. Yes. It took 18 months for that to happen, So it's, we'll say this, the president has practically said, Emilio, this is my now turn to say and to do something, But because of the outcry of people, when we talk about intelligence, I listened to President Obasanjo saying so many things about drone. And we mentioned it in that particular, broadcast. And we said, we need the drones. We are losing soldiers, not just soldiers. You are now losing even the common people, ordinary people. And we can use drone. We can use the dog technology. We can use the bees commandos. It has come to a situation where the president has to give Nigeria power. We can't be going to US. It's very expensive. When you say you want another country to come into your country, people think it's as cheap as that. If you think it's as cheap, ask Ukraine. It's not cheap. But you have to defend yourself. The president must give Nigerians ability to defend themselves in the local area. What we need is to have 1,000, if we have 1,000 local police, local commandos, stationed in their own local government area. They know the forest. You can't bring me, I'm from Ogwashuku. You can't take me to Ogwashuku, and I know the ways of escape in that town. I know the forest. I know the bushes. So I know how to defend our people if I'm in that town. So you bring in people who knows the area. Now we talk about intelligence of things. We need people who have data. We need to integrate existing. The last time we spoke, there was a brigadier general there. And then we said, the information is being compromised. So what you need to do? It's just like the Bible said. Now this thing is happening even in the church. And, some people will say, oh, Jesus said, I listened to one of your broadcasts where you said that you're covered with the blood of Jesus. And I laughed. And I said, do you know that Jesus had 12 disciples? He had 12 disciples, 12 security people. If you read John chapter 18, verse 10, they were there. Jesus did not tell Peter to throw away your sword, though. Jesus told Peter, put it back in the sheath. That means there was a protection. Now we see, pastors are like, the Lord will bless you. We believe in it. We believe in blood of Jesus. But my brother, you also still need to train our people in terms of defense. They need to be guided. If we have 1,000, well, I'm not agitating for police, state police, because it will end up like the federal police. I'm agitating for local police, controlled by government. Give them life insurance. These people that are being recruited are locals. Some of them are locals and then some of them are foreigners. Then when I see the pictures of our military man, a brigadier that was killed the other time, there was no local guiding them. Then you should have locals joining them in this thing. Bring in the chiefs, bring in the OBs, the urbans.
All right, okay. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, great one. I have a presentation in front of me which you've done on AI tackling banditry in Nigeria, and I think you share some salient points. We have frequently or repeatedly on this table made a case for the use of artificial intelligence technology where we look at tackling insecurity, because we've talked about drones, we've looked at, and I know in that presentation you talk about how data is essential for this to actually work. Can you break this down for us? Because if we're going to be looking forward, we're talking about forests, bandits hiding, we must be willing to use technology and AI. Can you share with us what you have proposed and how this can be implemented in the Nigerian scene?
Now, if you see what I gave out, to the news media, is practical to Nigerian scenario. Because, I went to local governments, primary school, their secondary school, university. My elder brother, Hazi Wendy, was police, PRO for a long time. So I know so much about Nigerian security and policy. So when we are outside here doing kind of thing, we are encouraging. Now, if you see the war on, I told them in Egypt last 3 weeks, I said the war that we are going to see is not the war on border. It will be a war on data. If I know where you are, I know what you do. I know where you pray. I know what you eat. I know all the things you do. It is very easy for me to target next way to target, either to destroy you, to heal you, or to rescue you. We don't have this data. Now, when we have data set, all these are supposed to be in cloud. I noticed the amount of money they are putting up in pipeline security. One time I developed a security mechanism for pipeline. I brought it to PTDF. And then they said, oh, you came too late. Because my PhD was on IoT, Internet of Things. I'm also good. When I mentioned beast commandos, we can smoke them out. There are areas like the book, the children. I watched the video when the children were saying they heard the planes moving across them. Nigerian military, we need to retrain them into guerrilla fighting. We don't have them. If you want to reduce the casualties, then we need to send in the drones. Like President Obasanjo just said, we need to use the beast commandos. But we need this data set. We need to collect the data. We need to see the routes. Their pattern. AI is about data. Without data, nothing is going to work. We are going to talk about how risk highways, the bridges, the key, the unusual convoys, the armed groups,
Professor,
the motorcycles.
I want to chime in there as you're making this very salient point. And I want to make reference to some events that transpired over the weekend. We live in a world now where there are so many open source intelligence enthusiasts. If you go on social media, there are people who commit their lives to whether it's tracking flight radar or, various apps to see the movement, especially of planes in the sky. And there was one user who had made reference to an alleged ISR aircraft that was doing reconnaissance in the Lake Chad area, and he posted it on social media. And now there was a response from other commentators saying that, well, this can jeopardize operations because what you've just done is we have a covert reconnaissance mission that is trying to get this data that you're referring to that will obviously be inputted into the clouds and be used through algorithms and so forth. But because there are so many enthusiasts watching this space, some of them think it's content. How do we regulate, the fact that this data and information has now become very readily available to those, especially when it comes to open source intelligence, those who are enthusiasts about this stuff, and, their life's work is to share this information with people online. How do we regulate this? Because we know here in Nigeria, we love social media and we love to share information when we have it.
Now, thank you very much. You understand that anything free does not have value. That you use that word open source. What you have and what the West use is not open source. They are all monitored. When I did security, I developed security for node-to-node communication of sensors and node to base station communication. That means you cannot have access except I give you access. So this thing also operates. So we can develop a system where it is highly secured. And we can use AI to also know who goes in there at a particular time and who is leaking the information. These things are there. If you see the write-up I made, I even developed what I call the OSINT, the AI-driven open source intelligence, using NLP, to scan what people say in social media, in WhatsApp. These kidnappers and bandits uses phone. They use telephone. Who controls the telephony security? Who did they? Because there's supposed to be a legal thing, connection between this body and our security. So if you have that on, you prioritize languages even in it. One of my students at the University of Boti here developed, using AI and in BPO language, to monitor how languages are being used. So these things are possible.
Prof, very, very briefly, your Zoom link is so sharp, and that's not surprising. You are into technology and all that.
Yes.
That's your interest. Anyway, very quickly. Now, all these things you said, they said in God we trust, everybody else must bring data. Data, they say, is the new oil, but it is expensive. Do you think the Nigerian government has the resources to fund the data? And have you approached the Nigerian government directly?
Now,
briefly.
Now we said it last time in terms of data is expensive. The Nigerian government, we have a Boni State government who brought over 100 people down here. I have Pana Holdings we are helping to build. My global talent with UK happened to be on AI and medical application. Not that we don't know about security, but we channel it to help humanity and save lives. So we have Pana Holding, we have Obafemi Awolowo University that we are currently working with us now with MOU, and then we have David Umahi University in Ebonyi also partnering with us. Like I said, it is only the sick person that goes round looking for someone to deliver or to heal him. What we have it at University of Greater Manchester, and then we are calling on others. We are training a whole lot of people in our center in a whole lot of technology, and we can train them even also in this area. It is possible. I have said it before.
Okay.
It is easier to solve security problem in Nigeria than hunger problem in Nigeria. And I still maintain that.
Thank you. That's very good to hear. Thank you so much.
We just need to do the right thing.
Yes, that's very good to hear. And we have that belief here as well, that the insecurity challenge is not insurmountable. And we are grateful for minds like yours who are looking to prefer a solution in different ways to this incessant insecurity in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
In recent days, the attack on a church in a community in Kogi State, where suspected bandits abducted a pastor, his wife, and several congregants, has once again underscored the fragility of security in many rural communities. This incident, like many before it, raises a pressing national question. How can Nigeria strengthen its capacity to protect vulnerable citizens living far from major urban centers? During a detailed interview on The Morning Show, Professor Celestine Iwendi, head of the Center of Intelligence of Teens at the University of Greater Manchester, emphasized a critical point. The fight against insecurity cannot rely solely on federal intervention. According to him, sustainable progress will require empowering local communities with the tools and training needed to defend themselves. Professor Iwendi reiterated that while technology, including drones, AI-driven surveillance, data integration, and advanced communication systems, plays a vital role, these tools must be complemented by localized intelligence. He argued that residents who understand the terrain, forest routes, and escape patterns are indispensable to any effective security strategy. In his view, deploying trained local command units, supported by modern technology and backed by proper insurance and regulatory oversight, would significantly improve Nigeria's response to banditry. He also highlighted the growing importance of data in modern security operations. From tracking communication patterns to predicting movements using AI, he stressed that nations unable to gather, manage, and secure data will remain at a disadvantage. However, he warned that open source intelligence, widely shared on social media, must be carefully regulated to avoid compromising sensitive military operations. Despite the complexity of these challenges, Professor Iwendi remains optimistic. He insists that Nigeria has the talent, partnerships, and technical capacity to implement advanced security solutions, provided there is consistent political will and strategic investment. Most importantly, he maintains that addressing insecurity is achievable and far less difficult than solving the country's hunger crisis if the right structures are put in place. As this discussion continues nationwide, it is clear that the call for community empowerment, enhanced local policing, and modern intelligence tools will remain central to Nigeria's long-term security agenda. We invite you to share your thoughts on Professor Iwendi's recommendations. Do you believe empowering local communities is the key to tackling insecurity, or should the focus remain on federal military interventions? For more insightful reports and analysis, remember to like this video, subscribe to Naija Star News, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest updates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.